I was going to die.
Devastation in a small North Texas town following deadly storms. We're getting a breakdown where those storms hit and who could see strong storms today. A woman's body was discovered in a field in Comal County after it was spotted by a passerby. Police now calling that death suspicious. Tiffany Huertas joins us live with details on the agencies working in this investigation.
Jonathan, right now we're near Hubertus Road and I-35 South, and in this field behind me is where the woman was found. And it's unclear how long she was there. Now, the woman has not been identified, but Schertz Police Sergeant Daniel Trevino says she is Hispanic and in her 30s. Police received a call around 8:30 this morning about an unconscious woman lying in the grass. Officers and EMS were sent to the scene.
A passerby saw her lying in the grass and called police and EMS. It was apparent when the officers arrived on scene that the female was deceased. This investigation is in its infancy.
Since it's early in the investigation, there is limited information at this time. The Schertz Investigations Unit and the Comal County Sheriff's Office are working together to figure out what happened. Now, if you have any information, call the Schertz Police Department at 210-619-1200. Jonathan?
Thank you, Tiffany. Happening now, people in the town of Perrytown are waking up to destruction. At least 3 people killed and many more injured following multiple tornadoes hit the area. Officials there say a mobile home park took a direct hit from the tornado. At least 30 trailers were damaged or destroyed.
It was just barely sprinkling, and all of a sudden the tornado formed and it just dropped on us. It came out of nowhere. There was no sirens. No time to get to shelter.
As of right now, search and rescue efforts continue for Perryton officers and firefighters. And Governor Abbott overnight deploying state emergency response resources for the areas hit by the severe storms. The Texas Department of Transportation will be out helping monitor road conditions. The Texas Department of State Health Services will help the Emergency Medical Task Force to the area, and the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality will monitor air, water, and wastewater.
Severe weather reports across not only Texas, but even the southeast, and there were several tornadoes. Let's look at the map, and I'll show you where this activity was located. 286 reports yesterday, 7 of which were tornadoes. Unfortunately, as you just heard, there was a lot of damage there in the Texas Panhandle and 3 fatalities. There's lower odds of severe storms today, but it's still there. There's still an opportunity for storms to develop. And there's a closer look at those tornadoes that developed yesterday, mainly in the northeastern part of the Texas Panhandle and then parts of Oklahoma yesterday afternoon. As we look at the severe weather risk today, there is a small chance across the southeast, another chance there in Kansas, and notice we have a small chance here across south central Texas. We do have an outside chance of seeing a stray storm or 2 today. We're going to talk more about that potential coming up in just a few minutes. Jonathan.
Justin. Well, folks, it's been warm and muggy these past few days, and it'll get warmer this weekend. So if you're looking for a fun way to cool down, how about visiting a city pool? All 23 outdoor pools across San Antonio will open tomorrow. As Alyssa Cole reports, the pools will be open 6 days a week.
San Antonio's 23 outdoor pools will open starting tomorrow, including the one here at the Ramon Quintero Community Center. They will be open 6 days a week, including the weekends, until mid-August. There's good news for those of you who enjoy spending time outdoors. This year, San Antonio Parks and Recreation leaders are extending pool hours by 1 hour each day. That means majority of the pools will be open from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. The city increased some pool employees' salaries up to nearly $21 an hour to grow a recreational workforce. And it looks like their efforts paid off because there are some fun activities planned for the summer swim season. The city is doing something different this year. They'll host movie night at the pool, set up huge inflatable obstacle courses, give group swimming lessons and fitness classes. And as I mentioned earlier, majority of the pools will remain open until mid-August. A few will remain open sometime sometime in September. But for a list of hours and locations of the city pools, visit our website at KSAT12 and click under the local news tab. But for now, reporting in San Antonio, Alyssa Cole, KSAT12 News.
New at noon, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office announcing the arrested 36-year-old Guadalupe Martinez for money laundering. The Sheriff's Office says on Tuesday morning, Martinez was stopped on I-10 near Flatonia. Martinez claimed the car was a rental but couldn't prove it. After a search, deputies found multiple bundles of contained cash. The total amount of cash money seized was $188,000. Making headlines, Jack Teixeira, the Massachusetts Air National Guardsman accused of leaking some of America's defense secrets, remains in federal custody after he was charged with 6 additional counts of illegal retention and transmission of classified documents. ABC's M. Nguyen has more from Washington.
Massachusetts Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira remains behind bars as he awaits a new court date on charges that he leaked classified documents online starting in 2022 and continuing up until his arrest in April. The 21-year-old former IT specialist indicted by a federal grand jury Thursday, now facing an additional 6 counts of willful retention and transmission of national defense information. He was initially charged with violations of the Espionage Act.
This was a deliberate criminal act.
Teixeira allegedly sent secrets to a chat group on social media, including information regarding the provision of equipment to Ukraine, how the equipment would be transferred, and how the equipment would be used upon receipt. The indictment alleges Teixeira knew he was risking grave damage to the national security of the United States, its citizens, as well as the lives of U.S. service members, but still mined defense secrets and shared them. The charging documents say Teixeira posted images of records which bore the standard classification markings, including top secret. Prosecutors say Teixeira was caught by superiors at least twice, taking notes on classified information or viewing intelligence not related to his job. A judge had previously denied bail to Teixeira, in part because of what he called Teixeira's fascination with guns. Teixeira has not yet entered a formal plea. His lawyer and family have yet to comment on the indictment.
Teixeira could face up to 60 years in prison, but it's believed there are more leaked documents investigators are looking into, meaning additional charges against him are possible. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Developing now, a 5-year veteran of the San Antonio Police Department has been suspended without pay. SAPD says the suspension stems from an incident back on November 23rd. Officer Andrew Guerrero was caught on camera being loud, profane, and using vulgar language during an argument with his neighbor. When police showed up, Guerrero declined to identify himself. SAPD says in part, quote, Officer Andrew Guerrero's actions did not conform to the ordinary and reasonable rules of good conduct and behavior, end quote. His suspension is up July 18th.
Expect a lot of overnight work this weekend as people are ready to drive off. Let's see what you can expect if you plan on traveling through here on Loop 1604 on the north central side of San Antonio. We have deck pour that's actually going to take place at the Salado Bridge there, but this begins Friday, June 16th and should wrap on Saturday, June 17th. As I mentioned, it is overnight, 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning. We'll see an eastbound main lane full closure from Bitters Road exit ramp to the Bitters Road entrance ramp. Not the only overnight work taking place. Over here at Forsbach Parkway, pavement work will begin Sunday, June 18th, and this is going to take us all the way up into next month, Friday, July 7th. That work, starts at 8 in the evening and should wrap at 5 in the morning. What we'll see out there during that time are going to be various lane closures in both directions from Northwest Military Highway to Wetmore Road. All right, we have one more for you here along US 90, West Bexar County, guardrail construction. This has been current for quite a while, but this should wrap Friday, June 30th. Begins at 8:30 in the evening and should wrap at 5 in the morning. Single lane closures on the eastbound lanes from Callahan Road to I-35, so expect to see some delays out there. Hey, you know what? Scan this QR code. There's a full list of all the closures on our website right now, KSAT.com/traffic. Scanning that QR code takes you directly to that page. Always good to know what to expect before you have to hit the roads.
And coming up, what the Biden administration is doing to show you full transparency with the price of tickets you are buying from companies like Ticketmaster. Plus, the 2 things you can do on top of drinking water to help you stay hydrated during the hot weather we are having. Price transparency. That's what some companies are promising to deliver after voluntarily agreeing to disclose all ticket fees on websites before you get to checkout page. The effort is part of a push by the Biden administration to provide consumers with more information up front about the fees they're paying and to eliminate excessive fees across a range of industries. Gloria Pazmio explains.
No more surprises at checkout. Entertainment giants Live Nation and Ticketmaster pledging to give U.S. consumers the ability to see the full price of their tickets up front, so you'll know what you're paying for before you get to the checkout page.
This is an important start, getting everyone at the table and getting their commitment to provide a better marketplace for consumers, which today is rigged against consumers, is critical.
Representatives for major companies, including Live Nation, SeatGeek, Airbnb, TickPick, and others, gathering at the White House Thursday. The announcement marking Biden's latest effort to address economic issues that are top of mind for voters heading into the 2024 election.
This is a win for consumers, in my view, and proof that our crackdown on junk fees has real momentum.
The entertainment industry has been under a microscope in recent months, following scenes like this.
God, please. There are those who are in the business of grabbing up all the tickets at face value and sending them to a secondary market where there's multiple costs added. That's what happened in the Taylor Swift situation.
While Thursday's announcement may ease the shock factor at the end of your ticket purchase, consumer advocates say the public won't be protected until companies are faced with new laws.
The problem is you can disclose everything, all the fees and all the costs, and still take consumers to the cleaners.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
In February, Biden proposed the Junk Fee Protection Act, targeting excessive online concert, sporting event, and entertainment ticket fees, airline fees for families sitting together on flights, early termination fees for phone and TV services, and surprise resort and destination fees. And taking a look outside with live cam, folks, it's 92 degrees already. It's 12:14 in the afternoon, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get hotter. We're going to be checking in with Justin to learn how the rest of the day is going to be playing out.
Yeah, we think it's going to get up near 100 today, but that's not the big story. It's the heat index. Yesterday, I went through the data just a little bit earlier. Yesterday's heat index was the second highest heat index we've seen here in San Antonio, at least since records have been kept since 1947. So we could be in that range again this afternoon. We do have heat advisories in place and excessive heat warnings. We'll talk more about that. But the aquifer is down half a foot, 642.1. And your pollen count's just molds in the low category. We also have a small chance for a couple storms across the hill country. We'll talk about all of it coming up.
Welcome back. And yes, the heat is a big thing everyone is talking about right now. It's hot, it's miserable, but there are things you need to do to protect yourself from ending up in the hospital. Medical staff say not everyone is following heat safety rules since Monday. Baptist Health System says it has treated about 10 patients across the city with heat-related illnesses. At the University Hospital ER, that number is about 7.
Feeling funny, feeling weak and tired, nausea, vomiting. Any of those things should be a warning sign to get inside, get into a cool environment, cool yourself off, and start drinking fluids.
Dr. Ralph Riviello says getting into a cool area and drinking fluids, even taking a bit of a honey or salt, or taking a little bit of honey or salt might even speed up the process to feel better. Well, we know, again, speaking on those hot temperatures, Justin, the humidity has not let up. How much longer can we expect that humidity to be sticking around?
It's going to stay elevated to the weekend, and I'm glad you brought that up because it really is the humidity that is making all the difference here. Temperatures are hot, yes, but we can deal with upper 90s. It's when you factor in these dew points that are in the mid-70s that it becomes a real issue. Why is it so humid? That's a great question. And I want to tell you why we think dew points have been as high as they are. Now, obviously, we've got a southerly wind that's ushering in high moisture. But usually during the afternoons, we see those dew points come down. I want to show you satellite imagery from last June. I want you to pay real close attention to the color of the terrain here around San Antonio. Notice how it's kind of brown. Last June was really dry. If you remember, we were in the midst of that drought. I mean, we still are, but it was bad back then. We got some rain this May, and now I want to show you what now it looks like. Look at the difference. You see how it's more green? We have a lot more vegetation. Things greened up in May thanks to the rain, and it has made a difference. When you have all that moisture in the ground and you have thick vegetation, that contributes to those higher dew points. You get the higher moisture content in the atmosphere, and that contributes to that higher heat index, which again, yesterday, the heat index of 113, that's where we peaked here in San Antonio, was the second highest heat index we've seen since records have been kept here in San Antonio. So just pretty impressive. And look at the dew points right now. They're still way up there. 75 here in San Antonio. Dew point near 80 around Helotes. 80 in Bandera. That is as high as dew points go. And when you factor that in with this heat, it really is not a good situation. And we saw that yesterday. We'll see it again today. 91 right now. Dew point is at 75. East-southeasterly winds at 7. Here's a look at the heat indices. Look at Bandera. Already feels like 108. We're already getting into danger territory, and it's only midday. 102, the heat index currently at the airport. 102 in Converse, 106 at Stinson. If you can avoid being outside for any length of time this afternoon, I would suggest it. With these kind of numbers, the heat illness can happen very, very quickly. And I think the heat index is going to drift up towards 110, maybe even a little bit higher than that by, say, 3 or 4 o'clock. 100 the forecast time, but the feels like number is 111. 110 at 5 o'clock. Even going into this evening, if you're going out to dinner tonight, 9 o'clock, the heat index could be around 103. So really, there's no relief here until we get late into the night. And the forecast heat index around the area, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110. We're already seeing some of these numbers. Obviously, we're already at 108 in Bandera, so this is low. And that's why we have the heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in place. It's also a yellow day, according to CPS Energy. It's one of those days where we've got to start conserving energy because the energy demand is going to be so high. They suggest doing that between 2 and 7 p.m. If you want to learn more about this, you can scan that QR code. It's on our website. Yes, the potential for a lot of energy use this afternoon. We may also see a few storms develop. This is 5 o'clock. Computer models continue to produce a few storms later today. And if we can't get storms going, they could be strong. So that's something we need to watch. I think this is mainly north of San Antonio, but today and tomorrow, potential for some isolated storms, and the severe weather risk is there. It's low end, but there is an isolated risk of some storms today. By the way, dew points eventually do come down some next week. So we have that small chance of rain this afternoon and again tomorrow. Temperatures around 100. We'll keep you posted if any storms do pop up. The other big story, of course, is the heat, and that continues right on into early next week. Jonathan.
Thank you, Justin. Coming up, the deadline for governor to veto or sign bills is quickly approaching. How many are waiting for his decision after the break? The battle over property taxes is heating up in Austin. Governor Greg Abbott wants leaders to focus on tax relief. The House and Senate aren't on the same page. The governor keeps talking about property taxes while vetoing other legislation. Of the 10 bills Abbott has vetoed so far, 8 reference property tax relief. The governor won't sign them unless the House and Senate agree on what that property tax relief would be. Another 341 bills are still waiting for his signature or a veto. But if he does nothing, they become law.
As we get closer and closer to this Sunday, all of these bills that have yet to be signed face the possibility, if not the probability, that they're going to be vetoed.
Sunday is the deadline for the governor to sign or veto bills from the regular session, but getting a deal done by then could be tough since the House has adjourned for the special session. At the Capitol, Governor Greg Abbott signing the Save Women's Sports Act. Senate Bill 15 has been deemed controversial across our state. The bill prohibits transgender athletes from competing on college teams that match their gender identity. The governor speaking at the bill signing, saying this is needed to protect women in sports.
Women's sports, women's records, women's teams, women's dressing rooms, all are jeopardized when men are allowed to compete for those teams.
You can watch the governor's full speech on this bill signing by heading to our website, KSAT12. And coming up in our next half hour, a national murder case back in the headlines after 6 years. The suspect of the Delphi murders in court. How many times prosecutors say that he gave admissions of guilt. And we're going to be heading over to Market Square and visiting with our friends at SA Live. They are always up to some fun stuff. We'll be hearing from them after the break. Happening now in Schertz, an investigation is underway after a woman's body was discovered in a field in Comal County. Police calling that death suspicious. The woman was found a few hours ago near Hubertus Road and I-35 South. Schertz police say a passerby called them about an unconscious woman lying in the grass. Right now, information is limited, but we are told the woman was in her 30s. Call the Schertz Police Department if you have any information. That number there on your screen, 210-619-1200. A 6-year-old murder case of 2 teen girls in Indiana is making headlines again after the suspect appears in court. Best friends Abby William and Libby German of Delphi were found on a hiking trail in 2017. Prosecutors say the suspect of the murder, 50-year-old Richard Allen, made admissions of guilt up to 6 times about his role in the teens' deaths. Allen's attorney acknowledged the statements, but say they're not reliable, blaming them on Allen's mental state in jail. The defense then asked for Allen to be moved to a different facility. The 13 and 14-year-olds' bodies were found near a hiking trail. Allen was arrested 5 years later, connected to the case by a bullet found at the scene. He was charged in October, pleading not guilty.
It's hard. How can somebody do that and then just go on living life like nothing happened? I don't understand. Probably never will understand that.
Prosecutors did not elaborate on the details of Allen's confession as to whether he'll be moved to a different facility. The judge's decision is expected soon. The trial is set for January. In Canada, at least 15 people were killed after a semi-trailer truck hit a bus carrying a group of seniors to a casino. Multiple rescue agencies, medical helicopters, and ambulances rushed to help at the scene. At least 10 others are hospitalized. There's no word on what caused or may have contributed to the crash in terms of weather conditions or visibility. Law enforcement said there could be criminal charges depending on the outcome of the investigation. Drug maker Pfizer warns that it expects to run out of a certain form of penicillin by the end of the month. Bicillin is a long-acting injectable form of the antibiotic, which is commonly used to treat syphilis. Pfizer says supplies of that could run low, but they do not expect to run out completely. The shortage comes after demand for the drug grew in the fall and winter during an amoxicillin shortage. Now, 23 tornadoes have been reported across 6 states this week, and more people are under the threat of severe weather today. Perryton, Texas had a tornado rip through its town, killing at least 3 people.
Still have 1 unaccounted, 3 fatalities, and just a rough guess, over 200 homes have been destroyed. 2.5 blocks is pretty well completely wiped out.
In Florida, 1 person is dead after a tornado ripped through the city of Escambia. Multiple twisters spotted in Toledo, Ohio, and heavy rains and hail came down in Arkansas. The East Coast expected to see damaging storms today. Taking a look outside here in the Alamo City, 1233, 93 degrees. It's getting hot, San Antonio, and there's just no other way of putting it, hot and humid.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jonathan. And seeing that video from yesterday, such a busy day across the country, I will tell you, there's an outside chance for a few storms this afternoon north of San Antonio. So we will be watching the radar. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot there, but we do need to warn you that that's a possibility. The heat, of course, is the biggest story of all. And these are the current heat indices. This is what it feels like outside at this hour. Already up to 102 here in San Antonio, 106 in New Braunfels, 109 in Gonzales. We're already starting to drift into that danger range. And with these numbers continuing to go up, this is only going to get worse. Bandera is one of the hottest places we're seeing on the map right now with a heat index of 110. Please be careful out there if you're going to spend a lot of time outside. Here's the severe weather risk today as updated by the Storm Prediction Center, and they have included much of the hill country Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Bandera, Lakeview, Rock Springs. If, and it's a big if, we can get storms going this afternoon. If they can break through that cap in the atmosphere, we could see some stronger storms. Otherwise, hot. Temperatures up around 100. That heat index here in San Antonio, close to 110. Jonathan.
Justin. Well, the court gave out boxes from the Commissioner's Court's new gun safety initiative is underway right now. The court gave out those boxes of handgun safes and locks yesterday as a part of their gun safety for Bear initiative. Just under 500 families registered to pick up the free safes and locks from Padre Park. This is all in an effort for gun safety improvement in our communities and lower gun violence.
We're hoping that through this program, people learn more about what it means to be a responsible firearm and gun owner.
To learn more about the Gun Safety for Bear initiative, head over to our website, KSAT12. And coming up, we are learning why we are seeing these yellow wildflowers all across our city. Plus, we have a breakdown of all the Juneteenth celebrations happening this weekend. But first, why Beyonce is being blamed for a sudden spike in inflation in Sweden. That's all after the break.